There is urgent catastrophe coming for all of us. It is of the utmost importance that we come together to be united with the one above, my Father. You have never felt that you were able to fully reach your potential and make the difference that you wanted to make. Will you act, or will you be left behind? Only once you have truly uncovered the knowledge that we have to offer can you truly assess the claims that we are making.
The world was going down, down, down to die. But set out, we're going up while the world goes down. We will smile while the world was a frown. While other things die, we're very alive. So why not join us and survive? We're going up while the world goes down. We will smile while the world was a frown. While other things die, we're very alive. So why not join us and survive?
Hi, I'm TALORX, and I grew up in a cult. The fuck is a cult? What am I even talking about? What are you talking about? When you say cult, what are you saying? What are we saying right now? The term cult is generally used as a fill-in word for you're a stupid fuck. It's one of those things that is essentially saying, I'm right, you're wrong. My beliefs, practices, worldview, good, yours. There's fucking stupid, dude. Grow up. I big brain, you small brain. In the words of somebody who actually has a big brain, Rebecca Moore from the Department of Religious Studies at the University of North Dakota, we only describe people we disapprove of as in a cult. We set the stage for how we will think about them and treat them. And that's a big brain way of saying, throw them in the fucking bucket and write them off immediately. If you just go on Google, you'll see some definition like a system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. A relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister. Cult originally comes from the Latin term clitoris, meaning... What do you mean? It's in my notes, dude. I even took notes for this one. What are you... Cult originally comes from the Latin cultus, root word of such as cultivation and culture. In ancient Rome, they used the term cultus to refer to a group showing intense admiration or devotion to a person, place, idea, thing. It wasn't negative. It wasn't positive. It just was. Under this broad definition, a cult could literally fucking be anything. Could be a political ideology. It could be a fucking music group, a celebrity, an online figure. So besides just acting as a weapon to immediately demean and write somebody off, what use does the term cult even have? If it is so vague and often used solely to be derogatory, how do we separate the harmful from the helpful? There's gotta be a better way. Welcome to the first ever episode of Cult Public Access Information Television. We're going to start the week with Cult Awareness Week, where we discuss what is a cult. Because there are many groups that can be called cults, I prefer to use destructive high control group as it better shows the group as destructive. There are many different models and ways to assess a group. You can look at the works of Robert J. Lifton or the works of Margaret Singer I'm going to focus more on the works of Steven Hasan. It's important when looking at destructive high control groups that we look at the different ways in which they assert their control over their members. Behavior control. When controlling behavior, there's a few things that you should look for, some of which include dictating where you live and who you live with. Control what you wear and what you eat and when you sleep. Try to exploit you financially and take your money. They may threaten physical harm to you or the ones you love. Information control. There's many ways to control information, and destructive high control groups are gonna try to use them. Deception and lying. Controlling the information by just making it up. Minimize outside information, if not eliminate it. If it's a news source that doesn't comport to your group, that's bad. You don't want it. You're not allowed. No thank you. You don't want that outsider information because it's wrong. It doesn't matter, it's always wrong. Thought control. Everything the leader or the doctrine says is true. And you gotta internalize that, dude. Hey, maybe we'll change your name, and your personality is gonna change too. They're gonna make sure that you only allow proper thoughts, and those are the ones that agree with the group. If your thoughts are wrong, they are not allowed. Stop those thoughts. And we have techniques through thought stopping and thought terminating cliches to make sure that you don't actually have to think about those contradictions. Sometimes even your own memories are manipulated. You don't even know what's real and what's not real anymore. And you start questioning your past and yourself and anything that you've ever believed. Emotional control. Gonna manipulate your feelings and your emotions and make everything seem either life and death or not important at all. Teach emotion stopping techniques to make it so that you don't feel homesickness or thoughts of sadness of your old life or anything that could make you want to question or leave the group. Also promote feelings of unworthiness and guilt and things that make you feel like you are dumb and bad and that you are nothing without the group. They also like to instill fears and phobias of people from the outside, spiritual forces that are coming to attack you, losing your salvation or your eternal life, and being burned in hell forever. They make you feel shame and guilt and that you have disappointed the group or the leader or the members. Also want you to fear independent thinking, because then you're not thinking about the group or the doctrine of the leader. You need to stop thinking for yourself and start thinking for the group. Ritualistic and sometimes public confessions of sins, bad thoughts, bad behaviors, bad sources of information, and bad emotions. All the bad things, you should report them publicly. We're gonna be taking calls from you, so make sure to call the number below and get in the line, because it's gonna be lighting up.
Search my heart, oh Lord, and see.
I think it's a privilege to call yourself Lorxian. When I first got into it, I heard all these things about all these powers and all the ways that you could conquer life, and at first I thought, that's crazy. It wasn't. Here we work on ourselves. We do. You know, I often reflect back to when I was first joining the Lorxians. I had all these problems and all these things going on in my life, and I look back now and what are they? I don't even remember. When I first read the words of Lorx, it was just like, bah! I used to have some problems with my own ethical issues. You know, I used to party a little. Now I realize that my own inequities were the things that were holding me back from ensuring that the rest of this world was on course. I realized I was letting my own ruins not just ruin me, but this whole earth, and I will ruthlessly ensure that everyone has this knowledge and this information. I used to have friends from this group and that group. Now I understand that those people were only holding me back. I now think about a world where we don't have those people anymore. Have you ever met somebody who objected to the Lords? Whoa, I read about that in a book one time. I used to have all sorts of emotions, and now I know how to better control my own thoughts. And if it wasn't for the Lorx, I don't know who I would be today. I'm so glad I know who I am that I used to ask all these questions, or as the Lorx would say, the pesterers. You know, I know how to block out the pesterers now. Nobody's pestering me, and I make sure of it. I used to go where I wanted, ate what I wanted, wear what I wanted. And now I understand that all of those things are just our primordial being trying to escape and take control of our true spirit that we are. And I personally would like to thank the Lorx for their amazing work in teaching me ways to help suppress that carnal being within, so that I can truly be the spiritual being that I know I am. When I let that carnal being come out, we try not to. We know that those aren't things that we are to allow. I like to lock myself in my room for days, and well, not myself, they do, but to ensure that that carnal being is repressed. I used to just focus on myself, personal wants and needs. I now understand that in order to be the best me I can, I need to do everything for the group. And I don't mince words about that. Those on the outside just, they don't understand us. They can't give us any fair critique or criticism. We're here for it. We're open to it. They don't care about knowing or understanding us. I used to hang out, kick my feet up, watch television, the news media. I don't do that anymore. I get my information directly from source. I used to have improper thoughts. The help of the Lorxian method, the Lorxian counselors. I no longer have any of those negative thoughts. Any questions I may have had in regards to the structure of the organization, gone. Boom. We don't take too kindly to that continued push of wrong ideas. Once you've had that knowledge, how dare you go against it? What we're currently taught is reality is so far from the truth. And you know, I'm so happy that we found the truth. The Lorxian method is just like, bah! It's like a whole new reality. Once you see what the world really is, it's you can't unsee it. Oh shit. You guys are still here? Nobody purposefully joins a cult. These are people who are taken advantage of. A system that is strategically designed to ensnare, entrap, and keep people stuck. This doesn't just happen overnight. This is well planned, well organized, and follows a step-by-step process to ensure that you stay with the group. Step 1. Identify the potential recruit. This isn't young, crazy, out there people. These are people who are smart. These are people with skills. These are people with something that the group wants. Step 2. Persuade the recruit to step into your web. Very rarely does a group come out and say, hey, we're a destructive high control group and we look forward to taking your money, your friends, and possibly your life. They often have front groups. They often tell you they'll help you with your communication. They'll help you with your love life. They'll help you with your business. What is it that is ruining your life? We can fix that. And all you need to do is come to a quick weekend seminar with a couple of the new friends you met. Step 3. Love bombing. These motherfuckers are just gonna come splat love, affection, all the things your dad never told you.
The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this, like this.
Anything they can do to put you in an emotionally vulnerable position. You're gonna feel peace and love like you've never felt in your entire miserable fucking life. Hey, you might even find somebody that you might have some romantic feelings for. Step 4. Sell, 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 baby. Once you got the recruit there, you got to make sure that everybody that they're seeing is a happy-ass motherfucker. Everybody's smiling, okay? Nobody's having a bad day. Nobody has had a bad day since they joined the group. Or at least that's what you're going to see. You got to let them know and make them feel like they're a part of a family. That this is worth more than anything they're going to get anywhere else. Step 5. Tough love. That love that came earlier, it ain't free and it's not going to fucking last forever. I'm going to tell you that right here, right now, and I'm going to tell you for free. This is where shit's about to hit the fucking fan. This is where you start to give up your independence. This is where you start to give up your previous ways of life. This is where the indoctrination really gets hammered home. You start to become more dependent on the group and less self-reliant. You're going to be doing a lot of tasks and a lot of work for the group. You're probably not getting a bunch of food or sleep either. But it's not all bad. With tough love, still has the word love. There are some rewards if you do what you're supposed to do, but don't worry, there will also be punishments. Step 6, renouncing loved ones. Now that you've taken on the face of the group, now that you've become dependent on the group, now that you're not really eating or sleeping too well, it's time to cut that other shit out. Completely now. Nobody knows you or loves you like those in the group. Your old friends and family, they don't understand this information. They don't understand this group. Frankly, they don't even know you anymore. Do you really even know them? The group is your family now. No one's going to understand you, and no one's going to care for you the way that we do. Step 7. The introduction of core beliefs. A signature calling card of a destructive high control group, and often one of the few separators between a cult and a religion, comes down to core beliefs and doctrine. Is it given all up at the front, or do you need to spend years proving yourself to the group? Hundreds of hours of work, many sleepless nights, many lunches that were skipped. This is where those crazy ideas, the ones that we on the outside like to look at and say, aha, I can't believe they believe these crazy things, are formed. Once again, this did not happen overnight. This is a systematic process that takes time. Nobody automatically believes Xenu, the galactic overlord, is throwing motherfuckers into volcanoes. No one overnight is believing that they are about to be lifted to the evolutionary level above human. And frankly, Nobody just automatically assumes somebody was crucified and resurrected 3 days later, but we're not talking about that right now, are we? Are we? Is Christianity a cult? Step 8. Zero tolerance to criticism. Anyone who questions the group, fights back against the group, or even starts to waver in their belief is dealt with ruthlessly. Every group's got their own name for the haters, or the suppressives, or the disfellowshipped. It's a way to ensure that outside information is completely cut off, and if not, is completely written off. It's also super helpful for if you have any of those pesky questioning members who should know at this point, and you want to make sure that if they have any questions, they're pushed so far down and they simply don't ask those questions. And if you're doing your job right, they don't have those questions. Once again, these aren't stupid people. They are skilled people. They are intelligent people. They are people with questions. They are people who are emotionally vulnerable. These are people who are being systematically manipulated, indoctrinated, and used.
Must have been Moonglow, way up in the blue.
Welcome back to Cult Awareness Week. I hope you've learned some things. We've learned about the term cult, and is it useful, and its origins. We've seen what a cult member looks and sounds like. We've also learned about how cults indoctrinate and recruit people. Alright, we got Tom in the back is going to be working on the phones. We're going to be going to the phones. They're lighting up. Let me put my... You ready, Tom? Okay, I can hear the calls now, I think. Welcome, caller, to Cult Awareness Week Network. Hi.
Hi, congratulations on your first episode.
Oh, thank you. It's
yeah, I really
been
thought you
good.
made some great points about the bite model.
Oh, thank you.
And you're doing great work here.
Oh,
but actually, you're just a clueless fucking twat, aren't you?
Cut it off.
You think you know
Cut
it
it
all.
off, Tom.
You've got no fucking
Tom,
idea, you
cut
wanker.
it off. Turn it off.
You're just a scruffy-looking nonce in a
Tom,
sad brown suit.
end it.
I hope you fucking burn
End
in
it.
hell, you satanic demon troll. You're a
God,
fucking
Tom.
disgusting shit-eating worm.
Tom,
You should be
cut
ashamed
it
to
off.
fucking speak.
Cut it- Oh. Sorry about that, guys. Let's try to avoid the harsh language while on the phone. Tom, can we put the tracer on the call, please? Trace that call, please. All right. Welcome, caller. You're on the air.
So, dude.
Hi. How are you? Do you have a question?
I wanted to ask you if you liked Wendy's.
Wendy's? Yeah.
Because
but
you're going to
this
love
is-
when these nuts hit your face.
Tom. Tom. Is there a way to screen the calls before they come on? Hi, caller. Welcome.
So, dude, I heard
is this
this
the
new
guy who
song
called earlier?
on YouTube. Did
you
was
call
kinda
earlier?
funny. Do you like parodies?
We're not talking about music.
How about
today.
you enjoy parodies, not something you chin?
Tom. We gotta be screening the calls, Tom. Gotta be screening the calls. This is a serious program, you guys. This is a serious program. Call the number below. Only if you have real questions. There's another one. Thank you for calling. Welcome to Cult Awareness Network.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. How do you have a
Hello?
question? Hello. Do you have a
Yeah.
question? And
So, when I turn on the computer, the screen is blue.
the computer, this screen is blue. I'm sorry, ma'am.
But the screen is blue.
Do you have a question about a cult? I
I want to go on the Facebook.
Facebook. I'm sorry.
My
We're gonna have to-
daughter is on the Facebook,
I'm sorry, ma'am. I think you have the wrong number.
but the screen is blue.
Wrong number, ma'am. This is not a tech support line. This is not a place for you to have your fun making your calls on the computer. There's another call. No. Okay.
Actually, why don't you eat a whole bag of cocks?
Hang it up.
You scruffy
Hang
piece
it up.
of shit in a sad brown
Hang it up.
suit. No.
It's good to search for meaning. It's good to try to self-improve. It's good to ask ourselves the big, important questions. And it's great to try to find community and a group of people who can help support you in that. Having the tools to properly help you navigate these groups are important to ensuring that you are less vulnerable to falling victim. We are all humans. We're emotional beings. We aren't the facts and logic processing machines we pretend to be. We fall victim to behavior, information, thoughts, and emotional control tactics. We fall prey to undue influence and recruiting techniques. We are able to be indoctrinated into believing things that we never thought we were able to be indoctrinated into believing. And we're also able to carry out acts that we never thought we were capable of. Almost 40 people took their own lives as a part of Heaven's Gate. Over 900 people took their own lives or were murdered at Jonestown. A report from LA Times as recently as July of 2023 shows a cult group in Kenya whose pastor has ordered them to starve themselves to death has now reached over 400 deaths. Destructive high control groups cause real people to do real harm. People like you and people like me. People who were taken advantage of and people who were tricked. I think it's time we turn the lights off at the old bar here and wrap things up a bit. Let me just... How do you help if you know somebody who's a part of a destructive high control group? Well, first of all, prevention. Be aware, be humble, be considerate. You too could fall victim to a cult. And understanding that and showing that care and that compassion, and if you have a friend, a family member, somebody close to you who's going down that path, treat them as the human that they are. Understand that we are all vulnerable and treat them as you would want to be treated in that situation. Secondly, if that person has gone that next step and has joined the group and is getting deeper into the group, don't enable them, but be there for them. Care for them. Let them know that regardless, you will be there for them. Be the person that if they do decide to leave that group, that they can come to. Listen to them. Care for them. Understand them. You don't have to agree with them, but you should care for them. This can be super frustrating and you won't always be successful, but trying and showing that you care is the most important thing you can do. And lastly, If you or someone you know is in a destructive high control group, please know there are places that can help. There are professional services out there that can help with therapy, housing, food, community. I'll put some resources in the bio below, but please know there are places you can go and people who care about you and your situation. Please let me know how you feel about the video below. This is my first video really putting any work into anything. Let me know things that you want to see below. I do have more videos coming out deconstructing Heaven's Gate and other cults. Thank you to everybody who lent their voice, Globus and Wildcat. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Until next time.